Let me talk to the men out there listening real quick. Guys, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction, fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, sleep disturbances? Hey, low libido, ask your girlfriend or wife. She'll let you know if you're suffering from that or not. That's sex drive. If you'll text my name, Clay, in all caps to 601-327-8550, 601-327-8550, Men's Health of Mississippi and the Clay Edwards Show are going to hook you up with a free testosterone screening. They're located in Madison, Mississippi at 120 Fountains Boulevard. You can check them out online, menshealthms.com. But one more time, text my name, all caps, Clay, to 601-327-8550 and get your free testosterone screening scheduled today. Enjoy the rest of this show. We got Topher here on the line. What's up, brother? Topher.
What's going on, Clay? How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Fantastic. You know, it's always something whenever we connect again, right?
it is. It's like the funerals and weddings. we got to start talking more often when there's good things to talk about. We're going to talk about some good stuff in today's conversation too, because I think what you're doing online, and I've been meaning to reach out to you anyway, but I saw the lawsuit yesterday, and it's like text now. But let's start with the positives. How about that? Have you been doing any rapping? Has there been some new music come out that I've missed?
Not yet, man. I am working on something new right now, and it's actually going to be in coordination with Turning Point USA and Blexit organization. And they're putting out a documentary soon called Race War, and I'm going to be doing a lot of music for that soundtrack as well. So I've kind of been on this journey of, personal development and just growing stronger and strengthening myself in different areas. So I haven't really been in the music scene, but I feel like it's time to hop right back into it, man. It's at the time of the year I feel the energy kicking in and watching people move. So you'll hear something soon.
Well, it's always better when it's organic and you're not forcing it when you're not motivated for it. Maybe not motivated is not the word, but when you feel like you're forcing it for business decisions instead of it being allowed to be organic and actually getting fired up and writing songs that mean something. And I'm looking forward to hearing whatever you put out there because I know it's coming from the heart.
Well, just real quick, two awesome opportunities coming up. I'm going to be on the remix for Mr. Red, White, and Blue with Coffee Anderson, which he plans on dropping that around July 4th. That's huge.
Absolutely.
And then Zachariah Smith, who was on, I believe, finalist for American Idol out of Amory, Mississippi. I will be collaborating with him sometime soon. I know we got a writing fest up in Nashville in June, but he also invited me to the Inspiration Country Music Awards. It's going down May 29th at the Grand Ole Opry, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Look, anytime people can say what they won't, say what they will. Anytime you're in a certain business and you get a chance to go rub elbows with people who are successful in that business, it's a dang good opportunity. So absolutely. First off, congratulations on your physical transformation. You look phenomenal. You've gotten me fired up. I mean, a couple of my buddies, another 2 or 3 people here in town have all really gotten in like really, really good shape over the last year. And it's got me back in the gym 4 days a week, watching what I eat, the whole 9 yards, trying to catch up with you guys. So congratulations. How much weight have you lost?
I lost over 100 pounds in 9 months, basically. And
is it 100 pounds?
100 pounds. And yeah, I went from 295 to 190. And went back up to about 200, so I'm kind of like slimming back down because, once you put the muscle back on, muscle weighs heavier than fat. So more right now, I'm not so much looking at the scale, but, looking at the figure.
Sure. Yeah, it gets to a point where the scales are really irrelevant. If you can look in the mirror and you're happy with where you're at, the weight don't matter.
Right, So I had to get right, man. It's kind of hard to fight the good fight of faith or for justice, whatever, when, you can't really perform like you want to. So I put on my heart to get my body right, get my temper right. So I made it happen.
Hey, look, and before it's all said and done, it may be more relevant and necessary than you think, having to be in good shape to do this, to fight this fight. So it could all get physical at some point. You're going to need to be in shape to be able to withstand it. All right, so you got your body in shape, man. You're getting your heart there too, man. What you're doing with this Bible verse challenge, I think this is something anybody can enjoy watching. I know I've seen these posts go viral. Tell us what inspired you. Tell people what it is that may not know, and then tell us what inspired you to start doing this Bible verse challenge.
Well, God is he's interesting, right? So he would disrupt you from what you think you should be doing and send you on a path that is an alternate path only to get you further along. Every detour isn't something that's going to delay you. Sometimes it's a shortcut to, propelling you forward. And I've discovered that with Bible quizzing. I wanted to go on tour back in the beginning of 2023 because of the money I had made off my music. And the guy that was in charge of everything ghosted me just completely out of nowhere. Just one day ghosted me. I've never had that happen before. He didn't respond to my text messages, my calls, my social media inquiries, nothing. Just completely ghosted me. I had no contact to the venues that he was booking. So I just said, okay, Lord, I wanted to go on tour. I was going to bring a pastor along. We was going to preach the word while I was going out. What do you want me to do now? I kind of sought the kingdom first. And he just said, hey, I want you to go out here in the community and quiz people. Once again, it's very vague and random. So I'm like, okay, what else do you want me to do? So I came up with 3 questions because I figured when Jesus went into the wilderness in Matthew 4 and he was tempted by the devil with 3 questions, and that was enough to turn the devil away, then I believe 3 questions are enough to turn people toward God. So I asked 3 questions. I was like, how much should I bless him with? 100 came to my head because to me that's completion. So I said, okay, let's do 100. And ever since then, I just said, Lord, if you'll bless me, I'll continue to do this. And because of those videos, man, I have had the greatest of opportunities from companies and other things like the TikTok lawsuit we're going to talk about here in a minute. But it has, I put the mic down, but my voice got louder. And that's because of obedience. And I just want to tell people that listen, listen, it may not make sense to you right now what God is telling you to do, but trust me. After a while, it will.
Man, you got me fired up over here. I love that. Sometimes you gotta put aside what you think you want to do and listen to Him. And I think that is the most poignant thing I've heard in a long time. And it's so simple. It's so true. We try to overcomplicate things, don't we, Topher? And the truth is usually just right there in front of your eyes. You just gotta touch it, hear it, listen to it, accept it.
That's it. And I got the craziest opportunity right now, man, that, I'm actually talking with a company, associate director for Accenture, and we're working on an app, and it's going to be a Bible app, and they reached out to me and nobody else. And then the only reason why they reached out to me was because of my social media videos of me going around quizzing people. That, and once again, that is what's going to propel me to the front and allow me to make a really good living from because of my obedience to do that. Not because of my degrees, not because of my success in music or anything else, but because of my obedience for what God called me to do.
Isn't it funny, man? You spent a large part of your career, and as well as mine, in the times that I've known you over the last 4 years, fighting cancel culture. And here it is. You follow you follow the Lord, and now you've got companies kicking down your door that used to would run the other way from you because you had the audacity to be a Trump supporter.
Pretty much.
I mean, isn't it funny how that works? It's like because you're outspoken on the right side, they wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. But the second that you start talking about the Lord, and this isn't a knock on anybody. It's just saying, have one opportunity creates another opportunity. And here you are, you got companies kicking down your door to work with you. When used to everybody was scared to work with a Trump supporter. So congratulations on that. I think that's awesome. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take our break now. And when we come back, let's jump into the TikTok lawsuit. Me and you both got TikTok stories we can tell about how crazy this is and the negative effect it's going to have on content creators from the top down. So we got Topher here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back after this break on WYAB. To the Clay Edwards Show. Let's jump straight back to our interview on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. We got Topher stayed on hold for us. Topher, again, thank you for taking the time this morning, brother, to come on here and chop it up with Jackson, Mississippi, and all the surrounding areas here. So we spent the last segment talking about kind of what Topher's up to nowadays, catching you guys up. You know, this is Topher's fourth or fifth time on the show. He's I met Topher back in 2020. Yeah, it was 2020 at a Trump. Topher, remember when everybody was doing those flag rallies where they were putting the flags on the cars and riding around and stuff? It was parades. That's the word. Flag parades is the word I was looking for. We all met at Florence City Park there by White Road and drove down to the Capitol one beautiful Sunday. Got a chance to hear you speak there. I think you had just been on Fox News that week before that, and I happened to be watching that, so I recognized you and got a chance to meet you, and we've been buddies ever since. So you've been boots on ground, man. That's why I got so much respect for you. Nothing that you put out there is an act, and we need more people like yourself.
I appreciate that, Clay. Yeah, we've known each other for years, man, and like you said, we've both grown, and you know, we've been in this thing for a while. As the young kids would say, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. So,
us folks from down south like to say, I grew here, y'all flew here.
I like that too.
All right, so I log on to the interwebs yesterday, and the first thing I see is you had shared a link from the Washington Post. And I mean, sadly, I'm a subscriber to the Washington Post. They actually have a lot of content that I talk about. Sometimes you got to know what the enemy's thinking. So you pay them $4. You pay them $4 a month to know what they're thinking. Anyway, so I saw your lawsuit, man, against the federal government over the TikTok ban. First off, as a content creator, thank you. I've been raising 7 levels of hell about it on this radio show, trying to explain to people. I know Trump said we should ban TikTok 4 or 5 years ago. I get it. I respect Trump. He was wrong then. They're wrong now. Even Trump's come back out since and changed his mind. Topher, this is just me personally. I would rather China have my information. If I got to pick China or California communists, the California communists have already shown what they're going to do with our data. Look at what they did January 6th.
Absolutely. And that's what people don't understand when it comes to this lawsuit. You know, Trump, pulled back his disdain for it after Project Texas came about. And that's what people don't understand. Project Texas was TikTok's attempt to separate, the collection of our data and have it under U.S. control. And what they're doing now, they're trying to pretty much use a hypothetical scenario, which is severely unlikely to happen, and use that to circumvent our First Amendment rights. And I'm not going to go down that way, because so many people find ways to, sorry about that phone call coming through, but so many people are trying to find ways to limit free speech. And if this was about the Second Amendment, people they'd be up in arms about it. But because it's the First Amendment, everyone's like, oh, just go get a job, go do something else. This is communist. I'm like, no. The true communism people that we're afraid of are the people that kept us locked down for so many years over something that wasn't even that much of a threat. People that continue to pass rules today, I call it the indoctrination school system that we have, that teaching boys can be girls and girls can be boys. Men can compete in women's sports. Like, that is not coming from China. That is coming from the communists and our government here.
Yep. No, 100%. And I told you this last night. If you just believed what you saw on Fox News, you would think all TikTok was a bunch of transgenders trying to groom kids to be transgender. And don't get me wrong, that's on there. But that's also why I got on there. I said, well, it's time to take this fight to where the people are at, not expect the people to come to where my fight is at. I'm going to take just like Jesus, he took the message outside of the church. He took the church to the people. So I decided to take my church to the people and try to fight back against what the transgender nonsense and all that other stuff on TikTok. It's where the battleground is at right now. And if you ain't on the battleground, you're not really in the battle.
Right. And to me, it's more freedom over there to do so, because Meta and Facebook Facebook and Instagram are ran by Meta. So they're going to ban the same type of content. And, we've seen what happened with Twitter until Elon Musk took over and made it X. We was kind of limited over there as well. So people just don't understand. They just assume that the government has our best interests at heart. And I was like, they absolutely do not. And this is about a power move and for them to get control, and I don't like it. So I'd rather, I'd rather deal with the dangers of whatever the CCP may have with ByteDance and TikTok than to deal with the complete and for sure danger that will come from our federal government having control of it.
Look, all 4 of our Mississippi congressmen, 3 of them Republican, voted to ban this thing. They teamed up with Benny Boom Boom Thompson, the Marxist himself, to ban TikTok. I mean, don't get me, look, I use my platform daily to take Mike Guest and any of the other ones to task when needed. I'll call them out when they do something good as well. But, man, I'm on a now they messing with my money. And I reached out. I said, you don't understand the entire cottage industry of America that you're about to put out of business with this. You're going to be liable for millions and millions of jobs, not just content creators, the whole TikTok shop thing, all of it. Everybody's, oh, Clay, they're just going to sell it. Well, you don't know that. You know, who's got $50 billion sitting around to buy TikTok?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then who buys it? That's the other thing. Yeah, TikTok will not cease to exist. We all know that. It ain't going away. But if it ends up in Zuckerberg's hands, if it ends up in, God forbid, Google has been trying to get into the social media game for years and years and years, multiple failed attempts. Do you want Google in control of TikTok? You think China's bad? Let the alphabet soup mafia literally get control of TikTok, and you'll find out what censorship and indoctrination is.
Absolutely.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
We already understand that, so that's why we've been so vocal about it.
Yeah. So tell us about the lawsuit. Where is it filed? Who have you teamed up with? What is the goal, or what's the update on it?
Well, really, DWT, Davis Wright Tremaine, LLP, they reached out to me. Matter of fact, they was in charge of the TikTok ban lawsuit against Trump back in 2020, and also the one that just won up in Montana. So it's the same organization, but once again, they're reaching out on behalf of TikTok. And trust me, I have no idea why I was chosen to be part of the 8 out of the 170 million users.
Yeah.
I just think that this guy's time, if you're going to have somebody represent him, might well be Topher. And so they reached out and they just asked if I would like to be a part of it. And I said, absolutely. As a veteran, as a person that's fought for our constitutional rights, I'm not just freely finna give them up, just haphazardly because of, one, they haven't proven or provided any evidence of the so-called danger. And 2, when I know that what this is going to lead to in the future, especially for somebody who's created a future, actually a living off the platform. But man, right now we filed a complaint in the lawsuit yesterday. Hopefully, we'll see something later on by September, October, and see where it goes. But for right now, we're just hoping that, once it does go to the Supreme Court, we feel like it will. They'll do the right thing, and with the justices there. Some people say, it might be an issue, but if Trump's against it and supposedly his appointed Supreme Court justices are there as well, I think they'll understand, uphold our rights as, citizens, regardless of whatever's going on. But we'll see, man. It's interesting.
It is. I mean, of course, I don't have any faith in a couple of those appointments, Amy Coney Barrett in particular, but we'll see if she does the right thing here. Here's the other thing. They're raising all this cane about potentially TikTok being able to sell our data and what everybody's favorite dance moves are, or what kind of TikToks people like to watch to China. Meanwhile, Airbnb's already done that.
Right.
An American company has already done that. Where are we forcing them to sell? Or is it strictly just because China doesn't have a back door into TikTok? I'm sorry, America doesn't have a back door into TikTok like they do every other social media platform.
Pretty much. They can't just, strong arm them into obedience whenever they want to. And because of that, they're afraid that, if something comes up to where too much information is being shared that's negative towards the current administration, then they want to be able to, cut the power to us as fast as possible. And they can't do that as long as it's under another country's control, man. And to me, if people can't see that, then once again, they're missing the big picture.
Yep.
Because I know some people bring up, well, you can't have it on your government phone. I'm like, yeah, you can't have Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter on a government phone, and they're American-owned companies. So it's data security is dangerous for any app, because of the sensitivity of it. So, yeah, as a person that worked at Intel, that understood, that actually did this for a living, they're not wasting manpower in China surfing through that many TikTok users when it mainly is about your dog, how you went fishing, you mowing your yard, DIY type of stuff. Like, that information is invaluable to a government when they're trying to do something. So I don't understand why people feel like it's real danger in this. It's like, no, it's just not going to do what people think it's going to do.
No, I agree 100%. I think it's foolish, and I think and it's times where I just want to beat my head against the wall when I hear what I call country club, white-collar, traditional conservatives rail against China. I'm like, is this 1984? Are we living in 1984? That's what it feels like sometimes when I listen to some of these conservatives are just as bad about obedience as your current progressive Democrats are. It's really sickening. It's time for an uprising of America First, freedom of speech people that are constitutionalists.
Yeah, that's slowly why I've been coming to understand. I've always kind of been constitutional first and America First type ideals, simply because one, we got to make sure we protect the thing that gives us our rights and grants us our rights, not as far as that's where it comes from, the embodiment of it. And two, the freedom to do so. So I'm just like, if we don't make a stand now, they're going to continue to find frivolous reasons to limit our rights until we can't do nothing. And I'm just like, I'm not going to sit back and fold my hand and watch it happen. I got daughters that I got to protect and defend, and I want them to enjoy an America that I grew up in. And if we don't do something now, America would not look like the America I grew up in. I won't be happy about it.
Well, Topher, one of the things I talk the most about on this show is I stand up every time they talk about banning anything down at the state capitol here. I mean, within reason. We want to ban pedophilia. Great, it should already be done if it ain't. I mean, common sense stuff, obviously. But when they start, like, they banned squatted trucks a while back. Do I like squatted trucks? No, I think they're stupid. But I fought for people to be able to have them. Didn't win that one. Oh well, it happens. They want to ban gas station supplements, Kratom, flavored vapes, all this stuff. I know y'all think this doesn't affect you, but one day they're going to come for something that you like. And you're going to want to know why nobody stood shoulder to shoulder with you to protect the thing that you like from being banned. And I'm using that same analogy here for TikTok. Okay, great. You don't use TikTok. You don't like TikTok. You believe everything Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, et cetera, told you. One day they're going to come for something you like, and you're going to be like, Clay, Topher, why won't y'all stand with me? Well, where were you when we needed you? That's going to be the question I ask.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Where were you? And, we've seen that all throughout the last 5 or 6 years anyway. Where were you when all this was going down, man? And I'm going to be right here fighting, proudly representing Mississippi, regardless of what people think about me, man. I'm always for justice, right? And Proverbs 31:8 talks about that. It's one of the verses that I get the confidence to do what I'm doing right now is, to be a voice for those who can speak up for themselves and to fight for the justice of those that are destitute. That's what we're called to do as Christians. And one of those things that we have, like I said, those rights, our rights to freedom of speech is a right for everybody, regardless of if I like what you say, you have the right to say what you want to say. My job is to beat you in the free marketplace of ideals. And the only way to beat you is for me to be better at articulating my point of view. And if I can't persuade you that way, then I just need to get better at what I'm doing. But limiting your ability to hear other people's point of view and be open to other information is not the way to do it.
Amen, Brother Topher. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning. We love you down here in Jackson. Tell people how to find you online.
Y'all can find me online at tophertown.com or Tophertown Music on any social media platform. Mainly, if you want to listen to my music, just look up Topher, Topatr, on any platform. I continue to stream The Patriot. we are doing great things as an independent artist, not signed to a label. I pay zero in sponsor promotion for my music. Everything I've done has been organic thanks to TikTok, and so I'm blessed and just happy about it. So thank you guys for supporting, and make sure y'all continue to support Clay at the Clay Edwards Show, because we need his voice at moments like these.
Thank you, brother. Let's stay in touch. We'll get a follow-up on this thing as it kind of moves through the legal system. Topher, stay blessed, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You too.
Peace. Thank you so much to Topher. That interview was brought to you by our friends out at Mazda of Jackson. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We will be right back.